everyone. I know, it's me again. I wanted to give a quick look at how the setup is working on the DIY fish inserts that Marianne Mull helped me realize how I could tweak it so that I could actually utilize the daily pages in the DIY fish inserts. So let me explain something real quick. So I'm going to push this back for just a moment, and then we'll look at why I'm showing this video to you. So in my last video, I didn't show my pages. Well, I did, but I didn't go into detail with them. So this is what I'm used to looking at on a weekly basis. So I have my monthly calendar to the left, my weekly pages, which are divided into 3 sections. I have a family section that has to do with like appointments that affect somebody in our house, a person or an animal, usually goes in this column. The middle column is home, and that's typically things that I have to do for the house, like laundry or bill paying, or call, like here I have to call a contractor to get a wall and door put up for my new home office, things like that. And then over to the left column, I was trying out something new where I stamped stars to kind of get the 3 big rocks for the day that is generated from my weekly task list. This weekly task list is only for work. I don't put personal to-dos in here. My personal to-dos are in here. So I decided, so that I know that I'm always tackling at least 3 big rocks from here as much as possible, I wanted to utilize the star kind of idea to see how it's working. So I did not use this yesterday, so that hence why there's some stars not highlighted, because of what Marianne Mull displayed on the Facebook group. And it gave me an idea of how I could finally utilize the daily pages. And so I'm going to move this out of the way, and I'm going to show you why it's making a difference for me. So let's put this aside, and we'll bring this one back forward. Now, I'm only using this as a test for the month of December because I haven't yet bought my 2015 DIY fish inserts, because I've really been on the fence about which version I wanted. I even asked Shang, the designer of the DIY fish inserts, about ordering without the daily pages, because you know, it's such a waste to purchase something that you're not going to utilize all of it. So when Marianne Mull showed she designs her own personal planner pages as well, but mostly for her own use. I mean, she does have an Etsy store, and for the life of me, I can't think of it right now, but if after this video, I will post it in the comments. Both of their sites, Marianne Mull and DIY Fish, are both on Etsy. Anyway, so Marianne Mull showed an example of something that DIY Fish had given her as an idea, and it was just brilliant because it opened my eyes to the fact of what I needed out of the DIY fish insert. So I know that it's annoying to watch a video and look at the cover for the first 5 minutes, so I apologize, but I needed to kind of give you some insight as to where I was going with this. So these are, by the way, this planner is the Mulberry Postman Lock in glossy goat leather or something, and it's got a little turn lock thing. It's cute, and it's such a pretty pink. I love this color pink. It is on the pricier side, and it's smaller. So this is an A6 size, so I can't get these into that personal size file packs. So I had these from using for a couple months ago, but I always never put the daily pages in here. So imagine, if you will, the task page would be sitting here, or I can show you another example. So I would have my weekly spread open like this, and the weekly chart like this. So these pages aren't there. So this is what I currently do every week. Now, the problem was the daily pages. We're going to, like, if you use a daily page, it's blocking that weekly chart, so I could never see it. It was really getting on my nerves. So what I saw Marianne do was she tipped out a weekly to-do list off of another page in her planner. So what I did was, here's an example of one. I just flipped it over so I could use the unmarred version, like no calendar or these lines, as a note page. So I flipped it over and turned it upside down. Then I took an extra weekly chart that I had lying around from previous months, and I literally took a tape runner and put glue down the edge of this and attached it to the page, and then trimmed off just a slight amount so that it could fold backward on itself. So I have my weekly chart. I have a note page. I could use this side for a note page as well, but look at this. So now, I don't know if I can get this all into view, but I've got my monthly, my weekly, my daily, and my chart all in one view. Now, as I turn this page, it will obstruct the view for the personal and house items, but that's not too bad because I reference this a heck of a lot more all day long, where I only look at these maybe once or twice a day because I double check to see if, what needs to be done. So the first thing I do in the morning is I come over here, and as you can see, I used it today because I crossed off Black Friday, but that's the first thing I do. I check the day in the month so I can see what is happening for that day. And then that way I know whose birthday is it, whose, anniversary, what holiday, is there something special that's happening during that day that I need to be aware of. That's what I put there. So that's the first thing. I mark that off, indicating that I read it. That's what it tells me. Then I have my weekly pages. So my weekly, I broke it up into 3 categories. The personal column. This is, again, the same kind of concept, scheduling things that are me or someone in the house related. I did put a couple items that are more like house related, but that's only because I ran out of room. So this is kind of like the overflow. The house section is usually pay bills. This actually was supposed to go over in the personal side, but I hadn't decided the columns yet. And of course I didn't use my erasable pen when I was writing these down. And then I put up some chores. I put the bills that I paid for the week. And as I do things, I usually check them off. I did a couple of things. Actually, I haven't done any of those things. So they were moved to Friday, and I still have yet to do them. And then over on the left-hand side is where the big events for the day that are due, like deadlines. Again, it's probably duplication, but I'll put birthdays or appointments, things like that. Like the vet appointment was at 12 yesterday, and my daughter had a doctor's appointment on Monday morning. And then my daughter's arriving, and then we're having Thanksgiving dinner on Sunday. So then I didn't use this on the day before Thanksgiving. This was actually the night I discovered this way of tipping out that weekly sheet. So now I flipped the page, and this was Thanksgiving Day. Now, Thanksgiving Day, I didn't have company over because I'm celebrating on Sunday. So I went ahead and set up these pages. I baked a pie. I did some work on some items and for work, and I put a little quote, but I kind of put little stamps kind of to indicate what's going to go in that section. And then I put a meal item at the bottom of the page. Then today I worked, but I had no meetings. So I ended up putting some of the personal items that I needed to take care of over here, such as that laundry I didn't finish over here. I moved it over here on a timed slot. However, my daughter took over the washing machine. But I did paint the bathroom. I still need to mop, and I still have quite a few tasks to get done, but it's probably going to happen tomorrow. I know you're probably thinking, well, tomorrow's Saturday. Yeah, I'm a workaholic, but hubby doesn't work, or hubby works on Saturday, so when he's away, I try to catch up on things that didn't get completed. Saturday and Sunday are blank for the moment. And then when you turn the page, this is the end of the week. So when I'm done with this week, I put this as a note, and then on the back of this, I broke it up into 4 sections. Focus is all the projects that I'm working on, so that if I have a conversation with my boss or I'm talking to one of my employees, I can either delegate some items that need to be acted on that further these projects along, or I can tell my boss where we are at certain stages of a project. I put my completed over on the right hand side, and this just gives me a list because I have to report what I did for the week for metrics. And then I have a waiting on list. So the waiting on is things that are complete by me, but I'm waiting on something else to happen. For example, Thompson is scheduled for a launch, but they haven't defined what day they're going to launch, but all the materials that I designed for it are complete. So I'm waiting on somebody else or some other timed event to push these to the next phase. Then the last square is agendas. So I have my supervisor and 2 employees that I have under me that when I think of something, I have meetings with them once a week, sometimes more, but right now I try to keep it at once a week so I'm not monopolizing people's time. But so what I do is, as I think of things, I add them to the agenda list to remind me, don't forget to ask when we're having our meeting about these such and such items. So, and that's kind of like a recap for the week. And so I take what didn't get finished on here, and I move it to next week's weekly chart. Now, it says November, but this is actually the monthly chart for November, and I haven't been using this. Now, I mentioned in the Facebook group for DIY Fish Inserts that I really would like to try to figure out a better way of utilizing this page. I just don't want to use it for bill paying, and I don't know. I really feel like it's overkill if I do more on this, so I just tend to not use it. So, however, the backside is a must because that's the manual, the monthly pages. So there's the next week ready for me to stamp at the top, my daily pages, and then I've already tipped in the weekly page, but I made a slight change to it. So this was actually the first one I had tipped in, thinking I wasn't going to need it for the other one. So I tipped in at the last page of the month. So I marked it as notes. And then there's the 4 quadrants, because on the other side of this is a weekly chart. So I'm going to actually end up either, I'm going to take it off here and put it at the, attach it to this page going forward. So whatever last page of the month, it's going to be there. But because I'd already attached it, I don't want to deal with it right now. But there's the 4 quadrants. I thought this looked a little bit cleaner, and I put projects waiting on, completed, and agendas there, and I'll fill in the details later. And then those are the daily pages ready for me to complete, etc. And then that week, what I want to do with it is fold this up. So everything that's that week related is in there. And then going forward, I'll have another tipped out page, but this time this weekly chart will be attached to the back of this page. So it'll be extended from this side. So I'll have a notes on the right side with the back of the task page over here, so that when you have it flipped out, it's sitting over here to the right hand side. I hope that makes sense. So I'm going to try that for the month of December. So I probably will continue to update my personal planner pages, but probably a lot less, because I spend the majority of my day in my work kind of mode. So anyway, I hope that this gave you some ideas of how you can utilize your daily pages, your weekly pages, your monthly pages, all while still seeing your tasks, your weekly tasks, all in one view, which to me, this page right here is the most vital to getting my work done and seeing my week at a glance is huge for me. So being that I can now put daily pages without it obscuring those tasks, it's going to be life-changing, I think, for me. Anyway, if you have any questions about anything, about DIY fish inserts, etc., I will link the Etsy store, like I said, for both Marianne Mull and for DIY fish below in the comments. And I hope that this was helpful for some of you. Okay, that's the end. Take care. Have a great night.